everyone. If you found the channel tonight, you're at the right place. Because guess what? I need you to like, share, and subscribe. Because this video, I have a very dear friend of mine with me here. And I would like to introduce you to her immediately. She's been living in Germany for the past almost 10 years, but she's originally from the Caribbean islands, Trinidad and Tobago, Jermaine. And Jermaine and we're just going to have a discussion today. Thanks for coming, Jermaine, though. And it's really going to be the theme of my channel. And if you would like to know how your biggest struggle can become your strength, keep on listening to what we're about to share. Jermaine, what would you say up till today would be your biggest struggle that has become a strength in your life?
First of all, thank you, Gay-Lynn, for having me.
Wonderful to have you.
Yes, I would say the top of my list thus far is dealing with loneliness and the passing of my father. Um, as Galen said, I'm originally from Trinidad and Tobago, and when my father passed away, I was already here in Germany, and so I was not with him. And the loneliness that I felt being here and not being there with him and the rest of my family was a real challenge, was a real struggle, because here you are in the morning of your day, in the morning of the day, and then you get a phone call and you're seeing your family panicking over my father, and to witness all this on the phone, I'm not even there. I mean, it was one of the hardest things that I ever had to deal with in life. That pain that came over me in that moment, that I couldn't physically be there to hold him, and watching all of this happen on a screen.
And being on your own here.
And being on my own here, you know, that it really made me think, wow, it was already a struggle being here alone. When you move to a foreign country and you are by yourself and you have to do everything by yourself, and you don't have that support from loved ones or even friends, because you don't even have friends here because you weren't born and raised here. So you don't have any type of support system really from loved ones or people that you care for or know you. So yeah, it was challenging, because who do I share my pain with when this is happening? And
that helplessness of being so far
exactly,
away,
so that helplessness, and also I have to deal with the reality, okay, now I have to get home and get a flight home, and that pain continues, because when I try to get a flight home, I couldn't get a flight home the same day, the following day, the day after that. It took me 3 days to get home. I don't know why at that point in time in 2017 it was so difficult to get a flight home to Trinidad. But at the end of it all, I managed to get myself together. And
because do not forget that through all of this struggling and sadness, you have to do all those things for
yes,
yourself. There's
you
no
have,
one that's booking a flight. You need to take care of it because you're on your own.
yes, you're on your own. And like I said, that lack of support system really sends you into, I don't want to say a darkness, but it really makes you feel so helpless and so alone that it can send you into, um, at least I've heard, into a form of depression, you know, because you think to yourself, wow, there's no one who I can relate to, who can be there for me, who I can lean on. There's no shoulder to cry on. You feel so helplessness, and that helplessness is such a struggle for a lot of us. I know in
It's
my yes,
almost.
it's very. Ooh, I love that word, paralyzing. Um, And I have learned from that whole experience that you have to find that groundness within yourself at some point in time, because while death happens, life is also happening.
Yeah, your day to day, your normal things are
Exactly.
getting on as usual.
Exactly. You still have to go to the bathroom. You still have to.
Eat
You
something,
still have to.
prepare food.
I mean, you may not want to do that for a while, but if you need to go to the bathroom, you need to go to the bathroom. You're not going to tell everybody, hello, okay,
Can you
I'm
go for me?
grieving, so I don't need to go. You don't stop doing what you need to do biologically or naturally. So you still have to find strength within yourself. I think, and that is one of the most important things that you can learn from any type of challenge or any type of struggle in life, that you can find inner strength. And sometimes it's easier said than done, because that inner strength might mean that you have to find support from someone else or from others around you.
And
Find,
even to the point where you humble yourself.
exactly, even to the point where you humble yourself and realize, wait, in order for this inner strength to grow, or for me to find it at some point in time, if not immediately, but to find it eventually, I might need to get that support from somewhere else, but the willingness is another thing, because I know I've seen from movies, or even like you hear about people who talk about with death, and they get so angry, and they say, okay, um, they might even say things like, there's no God, because they wouldn't take that person away, or anything like stuff like that. And I always wondered in my life, now that it has happened, when it happened at that point in time, I always wondered, okay, how can people say that? Because yes, dealing with that grief at that point in time is a struggle and is a challenge, but the trust and love that you have for God is so much stronger than you think, or that you can even imagine at that point in time.
While you go
Yes,
through your
while you're
struggle.
going through it, you feel that sense of, like I said, loneliness, but you are not alone at the end of the day. And find the support that you need. Do not bury yourself in a hole or go down that rabbit hole. Like, sometimes it's hard. You might turn people away, who are trying to support you, but be open to want to heal from the grief.
Right.
You
Reach
know,
out to people
yes,
and humble yourself
and
is what I'm
humble
getting.
yourself, and be open to all the emotions that come with it: the anger, the fear, the loneliness, the sad, the sorrow, all of the emotions that come with it. Be open to it. And one of the things that I learned at that point in time, from opening myself to all those emotions, is open myself to it and say, okay, this is what the emotion is at this point in time, but don't settle into it. You know,
Does it also mean you saying be open to it? Does that openness also mean to share it with other people, to talk about it if it's possible, by reaching out, not only humbling but just be vulnerable?
yes, it's. I think sometimes a lot of people, even myself, I'm afraid to be vulnerable and to say over and, oh yes, I'm still feeling hurt. I mean, from the death of my father or whatever, and you say, oh, but he's been gone so long. But grief takes a long time,
Grief is different for
and
everyone.
it's different for everyone. Um, and like I said, it comes with waves of emotions at different points in time in your life, just like challenges and struggles comes at different points in your life. And when you open yourself, okay, this is what it is at that point in time. What is the best way to deal with this? Or even if you don't know what the best way to deal with it, it's just important, especially if it's going to be something negative in your life, like if the challenge is something that a challenge where it's not something that motivates you, or you know what I mean, because sometimes a struggle or a challenge could be something that motivates you into
To doing more.
yes, to doing more. And don't settle there. Like, okay, this is what it is at this point in time. And it might take a while for me to move out of it, but keep doing your best to move out of it, to move on, to put one foot in front of the other always. Even if you feel, okay, I can't go any further at this point in time, okay, then for now, this is where I am, but I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to make another step tomorrow, or if not tomorrow, if it might be too far to think about tomorrow. You say, okay, within the next few moments or in the next few hours, if you want to put a timing and it reduce, the time. So what I really want to say is whatever that I used the passing of my father as the challenge or the struggle in my life that I had to deal with loneliness. I have used that period in my life to say to myself, okay, I don't want to settle in loneliness, because the world is full of people, the world is full of love, and if I fall down this rabbit hole, what is going to become of me? I always like to think of myself as a joyful person,
You are.
and thank you. And it's very easy to find yourself in your thoughts and be negative with it, but you have to, like I said, find a way to ground yourself, where, and if that means needing help, where you can move out of it gradually.
Right.
Yeah.
And just move forward.
Moving forward,
What I'm
yes.
getting from what you're saying, Jermaine, is, or what I've also heard some time ago about death, when someone dies, it's not as if the pain go away. It never, I believe it will never go away. What happens, it's like when it's very fresh, it's like a stone that you carry in your pocket, that in the first few months it's extremely heavy.
Ooh.
But you keep on moving
Boulders on
forward.
your shoulders.
Put it on your shoulders. You keep on moving forward with that stone in your pocket. And at the end of your road, when you come to another year, it's not as if the stone is gone. You are still carrying that burden, but you have become stronger.
Mhm.
And your struggle, what I'm hearing, the motivation for everyone out there that listened now, is that you should not give up, and you should definitely not stop going on with life. That's what I'm getting from Jermaine. Keep on moving forward. Reach out to people, because God has made us all for fellowship. And the word says that He will never leave us nor forsake us. Even though you were
Amen.
alone here, He was with you.
Yes.
And you had that courage to keep on going. Thank you for sharing.
You're
Thank you for
welcome.
being vulnerable and sharing your struggle. I really appreciate it. So, like, share, subscribe to friends. Many of us go through different seasons, through death, like Jermaine shared, but it should not be that we don't get up and move forward and make the best of the season. Doesn't matter how difficult it is. I hope to have another friend in the next video. Stay tuned until next time. Cheers.